Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and I am so excited to get back to the Ephesians journal. And today I'm going to have a good time because I'm going to use this sheet. This is 54 words, and there are 54 spiritual blessings in Christ. And this is from Leona Atkinson's book, 54 Spiritual Blessings in Christ is found in the book of Ephesians. So these are the 54 words, and if you get her book, she expounds on each word and tells you what it says in there and all about it. So there's the book, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all these words out, and I'm going to ink them, and then I'm going to make clusters and just put them throughout my journal. So that's my plan for these. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off because this is going to take a while to get them cut out and inked, and then I'll come back. All right, I'm back, and I got all my words. Does not look wonderful? I just love how things like that look. A big pile of inked words. Okay, so now let me move these out of the way. I'm going to get some scraps of fabric and some scraps of paper. I've got some buttons over here because I'm thinking that I'm going to either stitch them or glue them on. I'm going to stitch them if I possibly can so that they don't pop off. So let me gather some scraps here of cloth. I don't know about you guys, but I get off on these rabbit trails. And so one of the rabbit trails was I started tearing strips to put on the edges of pages. So I had them all in a big mess over here, so I just started to lay those out. So these are strips for that. And then I've got these little strips that I've been tearing to put on tags for something different. And then I have genuine scraps that can be used for other things. I just keep finding those. Okay. Here's my... Okay, so here's some... This is coffee stained cheesecloth, which is going to be really handy. I think that always looks good. So you always need a focal point on a cluster, and then some texture, and I've got buttons to put on. So I'm just going to cut up some chunks of this because I think it's going to be kind of my go-to for a lot of them. So cut that up, and I wanted a good amount of variety, and I need to, they don't have to be cloth, they can be paper, but I've got a lot of this cloth. I might mix with the cheesecloth, but paper and cheesecloth I mean. So anyway, if I lay out, just start laying out some possible, I kind of want some color too, so maybe that's where my paper can come in. I'm going to end up with a big mess here, just like always. Let's see if I have any. Ooh, I don't know if that's, I don't know if I want that color in there. I don't know. I'm looking for something kind of eye-catching. So I've got my scraps sorted into reds, pinks, oranges, yellows, things like that. And then here's blue, purple, green over here. I'm going to stop and I'm going to stitch these up. And let's see, I happen to have this light blue embroidery thread on here, so let me see if I can get away with using that on some of these. And I'm just going to grab a button and start to stitch these on. And I'm just going to leave that thread that's in it. Oh, you know what I should have probably done is glued them first. And then stitched the button up. Okay, because this is not going to stay. I'm going to have to glue it. I'm going to use some of this glue on here. Okay, so there's one. Only 53 more to go. Okay, so let's try this one. I'm going to cut that, I think. Let's see, I'm going to need my fabric tack, looks like, for some of these. Whoops. Okay. Okay, did I get everything? Okay, I think I got everything glued, hopefully, for now. Okay, so now back to stitching. All right, so let's see. Mercy. That's some really thick watercolor paper. Really thick. One time should have probably, might have been enough, but just in case. I don't know why I did that with blue. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get too crazy about the colors being matching. Okay, and then do I have any more blue though? Let's see. All right, that's probably all I'm going to be able to do with that thread. I've got a little bit, I've got all these needles with just a little bit of thread in them, so I might as well use them up. Okay, let's see. Here's a little bit bigger button. Kind of wanting to gather the fabric a little bit so it has a little bit more pizzazz. Whoops. Uh-oh. Am I the only one this kind of stuff happens to? It happens a lot. You wouldn't believe how much time I edit out of just things like that. It's not like this is going to go on a piece of clothing, right? All right. Inheritance. And there's glory of his inheritance, and then there's inheritance, and they're two different things. So be sure you get the book so you can read about it. Okay. Workmanship. Kind of feel obligated on those 4 whole buttons to at least make a crisscross on it. Workmanship. We are his workmanship. He made us, and he made us special. Intimacy with God. We are entitled to have intimacy with God. Isn't that amazing? I've been reading the Old Testament where Gideon, the angel came to talk to Gideon, and Gideon thought he was going to die because he had talked to an angel, because they were not at all used to being able to communicate with God or even an angel of God. So we are so blessed to be able to have an intimacy. We can go to him and talk to him, and it's just amazing. New life. Let's see, what other buttons do I have under here? Kind of wanting to see something different. Here's an orange one that goes maybe not with that one, but with something. So one a little bit different. I think I'm going to get some more buttons out because I've got too many of the same thing. Let's see, this one could go with this one. So let me see what else I have. Oh, let's see. That might be, get some of these ones that are a little bit bigger. Okay, that gives me a little bit more variety. Or does it just make it harder to choose? Oh, I've got a bad habit of using my needles to unclog my glue bottles, and then when I try to thread a needle, the eye is full of glue and the thread won't go in. So that's not a great idea. Put that on the list of what not to do. Enlightenment. Okay, let's do salvation. I don't ever do clusters. I feel like I need to go out and look at some tutorials on clusters to see what I'm missing, because there's probably some great ideas that I haven't got on these yet. And I know I'm not going to get done in one session, so probably one more. And then I'm going to have to stop. Oh, this one is not even glued. This is paper on paper, so this should be fine to glue this. And I'm going to have to stop with that one because it's time to go feed my dogs dinner. And they have a wristwatch, I think, because they always know exactly what time it is. So I'm surprised they're not down there crying. But I got that one. Chosen, predestined, boldness, grace, salvation, adopted. Enlightenment, new life, intimacy with God, workmanship, heritage, reconciled, inheritance, mercy, deliverance, glory of his inheritance, and that one needs a button. Oh, so does that one. Okay, so that many done. So we will come back and work on these some more. I'm going to go look at some videos and see what I'm missing out on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.